Welcome to this video about autism. This video is for you if you are diagnosed with autism. It is for you if you are waiting for an assessment. It is also for you if you self-identify as autistic because diagnosis is not accessible right now. Whichever applies to you, the information here is designed to be useful. Autism is described as a spectrum. This means that autistic people can have very different strengths, needs, and ways of experiencing the world. No two people are exactly the same. What feels true for you may not be true for someone else. Because this is a UK-based platform, some of the words used here may be different from the terms used in other countries. It is normal for language around autism to vary depending on where you are. Autism, just like everything else, can occur alongside other conditions. For example, some autistic people also have ADHD, anxiety, personality disorders, depression, intellectual disability, or dyslexia. Others do not. This can shape experiences and presentations in different ways. All of these are valid ways of being autistic. Feel free to discard any information that does not apply to you or that you do not directly relate to. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to message in the comment section, but be mindful that this is a public platform. These are some of the areas the DSM and ICD use to describe autism. But remember, they're just frameworks, not full descriptions of lived experience. Social communication and language. This looks at how you might use spoken and unspoken communication, things like words, tone, facial expressions, or gestures, to share what you need, express yourself, and connect with others. Social imagination and flexibility of thought. This is about how you might understand or predict what others are thinking or feeling, imagine different possibilities, or adapt when something unexpected happens. Social and emotional interaction. This looks at how you relate to people, emotionally and socially, including how you might start, maintain, or understand back and forth interactions. Restrictive and/or repetitive behaviors. This can include routines, habits, or repetitive actions that might feel grounding or important to you. Restrictive and/or repetitive interests. This might relate to having strong or focused interests that hold your attention and motivation. Sensory perception. This refers to your capacity to detect, experience, and process different sensory information in your environment. It can help to remember that all of these are human traits. Everyone experiences them to some extent. What can make someone autistic isn't whether these traits exist, but rather the intensity, combination, and impact they might have on day-to-day life. Now, let's have a look at some examples. Remember, these are just a few examples, not an entire list. Social communication and language. You might find it hard to interpret someone's facial expressions or tone of voice. You might use a different speaking style. For example, being very direct or formal without realizing others expect a different tone. Social imagination and flexibility of thought. You might find it hard to understand why someone might feel differently about something or someone to you. You might assign a fixed meaning to words and not recognize that their meaning can change depending on the context. Social and emotional interaction. You might find it hard to tell when it's your turn to speak or how to join a conversation naturally. You might not always recognize or know how to respond when someone wants comfort, space, or reassurance. Restrictive and/or repetitive behaviors. You might feel anxious or unsettled when plans or routines change unexpectedly. You might repeat certain actions, movements, and phrases that feel soothing, familiar, or help you focus. You might want to eat the same food for long periods of time or watch the same movies over and over again. Restrictive and/or repetitive interests. You might have strong or highly focused interests that you enjoy learning about or engaging with in depth, and sometimes very intensely, for years at a time. This can sometimes overlap with communication and social interaction. For example, you might find it easier to talk about your own interests than other topics, or find it difficult to show interest in other people's hobbies unless they connect with your own. Sensory perception. You might experience sounds, lights, textures, or smells as more intense, known as hypersensitive, or less intense, known as hyposensitive, than other people seem to. Because of this, you might feel a strong need to avoid certain sensations that are overwhelming, or actively seek out others that feel regulating, stimulating, or comforting. It is important to highlight that while the DSM and ICD describe autism through these areas, autism isn't a checklist. Your experience is unique, shaped by your personality, environment, and what supports or challenges you face day to day. To see the DSM and ICD criteria in full, you can click on the links located in the caption. It's important to remember that what you've just heard reflects how autism is described in diagnostic frameworks, like the DSM and ICD. Because these frameworks were designed for diagnosis, they use what's called a deficits-based model. A deficits-based model focuses on the areas where someone might struggle. Compared to what's considered typical, it tends to describe differences in terms of what's lacking rather than what's different. This kind of model includes ideas like comparing people to what's seen as normal, using medical or problem-focused language like symptoms or impairments, defining autism from an outside perspective, what professionals observe, and focusing on reducing or fixing differences rather than understanding them. While this approach can sound negative, it's not without value. A deficits-based model is helpful in diagnosis because it gives professionals a clear way to identify support needs. It helps ensure that autistic people can access services, adjustments, and recognition in systems that still rely on medical criteria. The challenge is that it doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't capture autistic strengths, creativity, integrity, or the many positive aspects of experiencing the world differently. There will be another video that explores the deficits-based model in more depth, what it is, how it developed, and how it shapes the language used around autism. And another that looks at a strengths-based or neurodiversity-affirming model, which recognizes autism as part of natural human variation, not something that needs to be fixed. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and for taking a step toward understanding yourself, or understanding autism in a deeper, more human way. If you'd like to keep learning and reflecting with me, please like and subscribe for more videos on autism, mental health, well-being, life skills, and self-help. Subscribing really helps us grow. And once the platform is monetized, it will allow us to make the entire learning platform and all of our resources completely free for everyone.
Back to reality.